20 teams, 38 games apiece, and about 9 months of the world's most beautiful game are about to happen. We're recording this a little over a week before the beginning of the Premier League season for 26-27, and I am terrified of what's about to happen. I can't speak for the other guys with me, but we are going to talk a little bit more about that. If you're interested, stay tuned, and you'll get to hear thoughts from several different teams in the league. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everything But the Cats. We are the podcast that is the only one that talks about every single thing except for one specific thing. My name's Gage.
I'm DJ.
And today we are joined by 3 friends, and you can introduce yourself, friends.
I'm Jacob. You've probably seen me on a couple other episodes and hopefully a few more if these guys will have me back. And I'm a Tottenham fan.
My name is Gabe. I am Jacob's older brother. You'd seen me exactly one other time before when we did what was the word that we gave it? The postscript, the post-season review of our last season. I had a blast. I'm glad the guys had me back. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this season with some fingers crossed.
And I'm Josh. This will be my first time, so thanks for having me. Gage and DJ. I am a Newcastle fan, and I will not give away any spoilers, but I probably have the most question marks out of anybody on the on here today.
Also, I'm an Arsenal fan. I just realized I forgot to say that.
Yeah. Important note, last time we met, like a month and a half ago or whenever that was, who knows? It was representing Chelsea. And since then, I have decided that I want to take this seriously. So I'm now representing Man U. So, yeah, because Chelsea, they're a good team, historically a good team, but I've just never felt it. And Man U is like historically like a really, really good team. And like, why not? Like, if there's a bandwagon to jump on, I don't want to be the loser left behind. So I'm on it, by golly. Not to say that anyone who's not on it is a loser, but I don't want to be a loser not on a wagon. And we all have wagons. So,
And I'm a Manchester City fan. I'm wearing the sky blue Puma. I was a fan before Pep was there. I always think it's important to specify that.
He was a fan before the 115 charges.
And by golly, he'll be a fan after, probably.
Technically, no. Technically, I wasn't, because they were supposed to have happened between, from the very beginning of the takeover until, 2016. So, right when Pep came in. So, they were, I think it was, 2009 to 2016. And I didn't really start paying attention until, 2014. So, which was a year that Chelsea won the league, actually. One of the last times.
We don't care about them.
Yeah, we don't.
The reigning Club World Cup champions? We don't talk about them?
Friendship ended with Chelsea. Right. Man United is best friend now.
So I
don't want to play with you anymore.
I do think it's funny that I think all of you guys in your own way are bogey teams for Manchester City, or at least that's how I feel. So we'll maybe talk about that as we go. But we are previewing the Premier League season. Like I said, we're recording a little over a week before the season kicks off. So there are still transfers that are bound to happen. There's still decisions that are bound to be made, and there's still potentially preseason injuries that are going to happen. Like today, Barcelona lost, he's a backup winger, but one of their wingers named Rooney Bardghji, it's Swedish, to an ACL injury. So, there's still stuff that could happen before the season starts that we don't have that information on. So if you're going to comment about that information that happens after the recording, we didn't know. But we have a list of questions that we're going to go over. We have a few quick fire questions before we get into some more specifics about our teams. and we're going to go in order of, I suppose, alphabetical order for the league, which is also technically the same order as how the league finished last season. So, our first question in the quickfire round is, what is the most exciting team to you going into this season? You're allowed to say your own if you want. I would argue none of us have the most exciting team going into this season, but that's me.
I mean, I am going to disagree with you and pick my own because
Okay.
the Gunners, I'm picking us coming off of our first title in over 20 years. I'm really excited to see what we do with that defense. That's also kind of our biggest question mark, I guess you could say. I mean, we're trying to sign on even more talent to bolster, across the board. Obviously, Bruno coming on was not the biggest signing, I guess, of the year, but it's definitely a landmark signing. I can't wait to see what this new Arsenal does to keep chasing silverware this year.
And that's fair. That's a fair argument, I think, for sure. I would say the most exciting team for me is Chelsea. Sorry, DJ. Xabi Alonso coming in as manager. They've made some signings that they needed to make. They've brought some leadership into that team, which is what they were lacking last season. And Joao Pedro had an amazing season. He's still going to be up top. I think that I will save my thoughts for what I think they're capable of until later in this episode. But I think that I think they're very exciting going into the season.
If they win the league, I'll go back to them. Like, I don't. You wouldn't
It's
believe
back and forth between the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs.
You would not believe how not loyal
Dallas Cowboys. Let's be real.
I am.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I have really, I decided that I was going to actually start caring about the Premier League about 6 weeks ago. And then maybe 8 weeks. I don't know. And so started doing some research, mostly Man U, just trying to like learn the history and kind of what's going on there. Like, I've got a lot of catching up to do, like hundreds, like well over 100 years of history to catch up on. They've had 988 players, Man U has. And that's not all the teams. There are more teams than that, believe it or not. So I'm very Man U focused, that to say. And then I was going to learn more about the league. And then the last few weeks have not been great for research. So the only team I know about is Manchester United. And I'm excited. I think that they're like a lot of teams. They've been rebuilding for like 13 years or whatever since Sir Alex left. But here we are. Like, that's last year, it sounds like it ended kind of on a higher note when Michael Carrick came along. And now he's here. He's got the reins, and we're going to see what happens. So, yeah, that's what I got for you. That's the only team I know to be excited about. So I'm sure there are others.
Josh.
I really want to say Liverpool because I have no idea what's going to happen over there. Like, Mo's gone, Klopp sacked. Like, there's so many things. They're just going to be really loud about whatever happens, and I mean, they could be really fun to watch. But I don't know. Tottenham's had a really incredible transfer portal. Transfer portal. It's like talking college football. But yeah, they've spent a lot of money. They made it really interesting at the end of the season last year. I'm curious what the spending does for them this season. Like, are they going to be near the top of the table, or do they just have another we might get relegated sort of season too? Like, they have all this talent and they may have all these injuries. So Jacob's over there laughing about it, but yeah. So I'll say Tottenham.
Which, you know what, maybe getting relegated is exciting in its own way.
As a
non-fan from last year, just watching the Tottenham fans in the room and others, that was really fun. That was exciting for me. I had no dog in the fight, but it was also very fun those last few weeks.
honestly, as an Arsenal fan, it was fun for like the first half of the season, but honestly, by the end, I was just mystified. So I'm glad that they stayed up, because that means that the best rivalry in the Premier League can continue on for at least one more season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the window turns out too, because fans are actually getting kind of antsy again. I mean, we spent so much at the start of the window, but the attacking cupboard's really barren. We're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, because I was going to agree with you, Josh. I really kind of think Liverpool is the team I'm most interested to see, just because they swing on the pendulum so hard. Like, that's been their MO these last, 8 seasons. And because of how the last one ended for them, I feel like they're due to swing back and suddenly be really exciting and a really dangerous team to contend for the league again. And I don't know. They have the talent to do it. They didn't realize it. New coach, I rate Iraola. So I'm going to be really watching out to see how he picks up their football. But since they were already taken, I'll also throw in Maresca's Man City, because they were making another big push late in the year. And once they had Semenyo locked in, Cherokee was great dishing the assists. I really think that they're going to be pushing again. And nothing ignites City like being somewhat not pushed off, but kind of edged off of their throne a little bit. So they're going to come back and take out whatever interloper is keeping it warm for them.
We'll see. We'll see about that. As a City fan, I'm expecting kind of a rebuild season for us. Kind of. We'll get to predictions later. What is the least exciting team to you so far going into this window?
I think I know I was fading them last in the last episode that we did, but again, Leeds, I just hear nothing from them. They were doing just enough to stay out of the bottom 6 and not doing anything to challenge for anything above that. They're just kind of coasting. It feels like them and Everton have kind of really cemented their place of the bottom 8, the top of the bottom 8, if you will, of the Premier League, and there's nothing going on there. So for me, it's just, I don't know. They're a slot on the schedule to play.
I've got maybe Hull City, just because I looked at their transfers and they really haven't made a lot of moves that are exciting, and their team doesn't really look that exciting, and they technically only got promoted on a technicality anyways. So it's I'm not excited for Hull City. I think we'll talk about that again later. I just don't think they're going to have a good season.
I quickly Googled list of Premier League teams. I was like, okay, whichever one I haven't heard of, probably odds are good there. Ipswich Town.
Not Ed Sheeran. Come on.
So
He's their sole advertiser.
I hadn't heard of him.
That sounds like a joke. It's not.
It's
Okay.
really not.
Like, he is their kit sponsor.
Well, goodbye, Ed Sheeran. Good riddance.
Okay.
What do you think, Josh?
Just maybe because I'm going off of the friendly from this afternoon with my Geordies, Everton. I mean, look at their transfer window list and who is on that list. Their new stadium isn't new anymore. They're engineered to finish bottom third of the table with a whole bunch of 1-0 finishes. There's not a lot of scoring. They may not give up a lot of goals, but yeah, it's just they're going to be not great to watch. I don't think.
Also, they have 2 goalkeepers named Pickford. I learned that today.
Yeah. If you watched him play in the World Cup, he's going to keep it really close all the time. So they're not going to have to score a lot, but they're also not going to give up many.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a similar reason that I kind of put Palace down there. just because they've been gradually selling off their talent, and I'm not buying into who they're buying to replace or the development they have in place. I mean, they've done a great job at getting the top dollar for their guys, but they already played a pretty, like, it just, even when they had Elise there, it was good, but it was still just defensive, low block, counterattacking football. What happens when you lose all those guys? What happens when you even lose your best defenders as well, like Lacroix to Chelsea? So,
And they're going to be tired more than they usually are. Like they're in Europa this year.
yeah, I feel like it's just a bad recipe. It's just
It's
sad
just
because I
weird.
kind of like Palace.
It's just weird coming off a season where they won like European silverware to like be making all the bad transfer decisions that they're making when they've gone to a harder competition. Whatever. Who is your dark horse this season?
Give me the cherries once again. I was gassing them up at the end of last episode, so it's a lot of rhyming echoes going on between my two episodes so far. But literally everything that they were doing to punch above their weight class all last year, I feel like that's continued, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in the Prem this season and in Europe this season as well. This is their first season ever playing European football. So I feel like that energy is really going to take them far. I feel like it's going to do a lot to gas them up, when they might flag and start fading otherwise, because this is all brand new opponents, new territories, new stadiums to play in, new opportunities. So I really like what they're doing, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Who's their new manager?
That is, one second, Marco Rose.
Okay, he's not
going to
bad.
say, how can a dark horse be a team that just lost its manager?
To Liverpool.
To be fair.
So my dark horse might actually be kind of a hot take. I've got Leeds.
Really?
One of their biggest problems is how many goals they ship. That's it. Like, it's how many goals they concede. They're normally going to have like 50-50 on how attacking they are, but there's always a chance they're going to score 5 goals. Like, when Leeds is on the field, there's always a chance they're going to score 5. And now they have James Trafford, potentially the best young English goalkeeper in the world right now. I don't know, man. I think that now that they've got a really solid shot stopper, they have a chance to do much better than they have previously if they just are able to release those attackers a little bit more. Plus, I just love Brendan Aronson. Like, I do. He works hard. He works so hard.
Yep.
And he scored today, so I'm rooting for him. It was a friendly, but who cares?
So we've officially entered the part of the podcast where I'm out of my depth. So we'll go Coventry because they just got promoted, and that'd be silly.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey,
I mean, let's go Haji right?
Yeah.
Like, Sunderland, no one expected them to play like they did when they got promoted this past season.
Yeah.
Especially after suffering back-to-back relegations just 3 or 4 years ago or whenever it was, maybe 5. But still, yeah.
I definitely didn't expect it. So
crazy. I mean, I don't think as a Newcastle fan I can say Sunderland, but like they do have like dark horse should be somebody a team that nobody seems coming, right? Like I think Villa could push for another top 4 finish, right? They could be in that conversation. And I think that I do like the Leeds pick a lot, actually, because they had a pretty good window. But yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to say Sunderland, but that's the one I was thinking about. But mostly, and I do the Coventry pick is also kind of cool. Like this year, like Sunderland got promoted last year, they stayed up. Coventry, like, I mean, they spent well in the window to kind of do the same thing, kind of be well clear of the bottom 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
I like that Sunderland pick. They're on the radar as well. I'm really tempted to put Spurs just because we were so low on the table and we have so many X factors going into this year, like De Zerbi and his tactics and some new high profile signings. I feel like if everything hits and we make some more attacking signings, there's a good chance we could catapult right back into the UCL mixer. But because it's a little basic to pick your own team, I'm also going to shout out Brentford. Keith Andrews did one of my favorite coaching jobs of this past season. And I just think they've been solid enough. They have a foundation in their coaching staff and in their development to keep surprising people. Like, I feel like it would be a dark horse, surprisingly good finish if they just finished where they did this past season. Because I think most people expect them to be in that, like, 14 to 16 kind of range. But I like them quite a bit.
Yeah. Josh, you also mentioned Aston Villa. I do need to, they did really well against PSG today. They only lost 2-1, and they looked like PSG did have the bulk of the possession for most of the game, but when Aston Villa really got on the ball, they looked good. They actually had some attacks that looked better than Paris's. So I think that's a solid shout too.
Was it Manzambi? City, you guys are going to have a new manager. Like Liverpool are kind of rebuilding. Chelsea is just going to be Chelsea. Somebody's going to have to finish second. So, so who knows? Who knows what Villa does? I do think they might have a really good season.
We'll see. Obviously, that's the excitement of it. Now, biggest fraud. The way I kind of interpreted this is like the team that you think is like gonna poop the bed this year, kind of is kind of how I interpreted it. But however you interpreted it, go with it.
The way I interpreted it, and I was expecting some clashing today, DJ. So I'm glad that you moved, because I'm going with Chelsea. Like I feel like their problems have been over the last number of years. Their problems have been at a higher overall club level, bigger than Zabi and another offseason of just throwing buckets of money at their problems to buy decent names can fix. I mean, he's got a lot to manage in his first season as a gaffer. You've got the egos that are going to be on the field, the egos that are in the front office, and the egos that are in the stands. And that's a lot to tackle, even with somebody with his experience. So I think there's definitely a possibility where they could start off hot. But then as the season goes on, cracks start to appear and they just keep slipping down the table as Alonso starts trying to implement his schemes. And then all the big names, the people who were promised, starting minutes, the people who receive big payouts to come into Chelsea, I think all of that starts to come to a head, and then the issues in their management and ownership, all that starts to come to light as well. And so I just think, it's Chelsea's been making big splashes, but I think that's all it's going to be by the end of the season.
It's certainly interesting. I've gone for a pick that I thought was going to do better last season, and I think they're just going to continue this kind of downward trajectory. I've got Nottingham Forest, not only because they just lost arguably one of their best players to us, arguably their best player to us, but just because I have been really underwhelmed by them since they had their run to the top 2 seasons ago. I'm interested to see what happens, but that's who I've got. I don't think they're going to go down necessarily, but I just don't see them reaching the heights that they have shown they're capable of the past few years.
So I interpreted biggest fraud as which team has 115 allegations of fraud. So Man City.
That's really good. That's really fun.
Can I change my answer? I like his better.
I don't think I have to answer after that one. No, I'm gonna shoot this one at you, DJ. I think Man U might be the biggest fraud. I mean, they were third place last year, but they only had a plus 19 goal differential. They're going to be playing in the Champions League. I don't know. I don't think fraud is being about being bad. I think it's the number next to your name not matching the football that you play. Right? Like
Mhm.
there's nobody. I don't know. They finished third last year. Every time I watched them play, I did not think, like, you look at the table, you're like, Man U's in third place. Like, that's not a third place team. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not a great take. I'm not a big fan of them anyway. So I want to call them frauds every time I watch them play. I do like the Chelsea answer though.
Now, I
sorry to
I do
interrupt.
think for Man United, I kind of co-sign the fraud label just because they're in the most dangerous position they can be in for a Man United team of the past decade, which is highly rated by pundits going into the year after a hot finish to the previous season.
I mean, look at their schedule to start September, and it's like the easiest schedule in the world. So you can't wait to hear all these pundits after September being like, "Oh my gosh, Man U is so good," and then they actually get to playing some real teams.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I also kind of agree with Forrest as well. I feel like Anderson and Gibbs White really shouldered that team because I thought they would do much worse last year than they did, but Gibbs White was phenomenal. Elliot Anderson was phenomenal. But now Anderson's gone, and there are clubs, I think, that are interested in Gibbs White. I don't know if mine is again, but yeah, I just feel like Forrest, they've not shown as much of the ambition to stay up or the drive to keep going that you'd want to see from a team in their position. And just to throw out a name that hasn't been brought in, there's a part of me that really thinks Villa is going to struggle as well. I feel like Emery, for all his coaching prowess, has taken them about as far as he can. And to me, that means the only place they can go is down, especially when they start selling pieces and when the core that they relied on is starting to age up. So that's kind of my take on them.
Fair enough. All right. So the next section, we're going to get into our specific teams for the next few questions. So I want each of us to give a 3-word summary of last season. And that's it. Just 3 words. And then we will, over the next few questions, we'll break down a little bit more what we're doing this season. Because we already did the review. Let's just give a 3-word summary there. So,
Kings of England. I mean, don't really need to say more than that.
yeah. Pep is gone.
Hey,
I
Michael's
guess there's a
back.
tear rolling.
What'd you say, DJ?
Hey, Michael's back. Or alternatively, no, I was going to get some 3-word version of like, maybe this coach will fix it. Hard to condense that.
Maybe this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got so many of them. But Champions League tax.
Ooh, it's a pretty good one.
Yep.
Probably somehow Tottenham returned.
That's
That's
true.
That's really good.
Hats off to you on that one, bro.
Now, let's try to condense it as much as we can, but like just go over what has changed for your team this season. Like, what's the biggest change between last season and now? Or a couple of the changes, right?
So far, honestly, the biggest change so far has been Bruno coming in from Newcastle. That's been the biggest thing. And honestly, we'll have to see how much that changes things, because it's honestly like more of the same, but like in a good way, if that makes sense. Our biggest strength coming back into it is no change whatsoever. Our biggest change is still our defense. Like, I think our defense is going to pick up right where it left off as one of the best in the world and continue to stymie defenses or stymie attacks at home and abroad.
We've changed a little bit more than you guys have in this offseason. Like I said, Pep is gone. We lost the manager that we've had for 10 years, who's led us through a beautiful 10 years. I'm excited for Maresca, watching the way that we played in preseason, even with not full-strength squads. The way that the midfield was passing and moving looked really exciting. I think he's going to implement Reinders and Foden a little bit better than Pep was toward the end of his tenure, actually. I say that somewhat hesitantly, but we will see. And I don't know. Maresca's tactics I think they're really good. I think that he was fired from Chelsea because he didn't want to bow to the system in the upper rooms there, not because he was a bad manager. And he has studied under Pep. Like, he was an assistant coach to Pep at one point at City. So I'm excited to see what he does. We've lost some players that are near and dear to my heart in Bernardo Silva and John Stones, also Nathan Ake. Those guys have all left. We have a few others that have left as well. Calvin Phillips is out on loan. Most of them are out on loan. James Trafford has left officially, which, again, it makes me sad, but he's only 3 years younger than Donnarumma. And Donnarumma is head and shoulders the better goalkeeper. Like, he just is the better shot stopper. I think his mistakes are more glaring when they happen because you expect him to be so much better. Yeah. So, like, we've got some players leaving that are near and dear to my heart. We've only really brought in Elliot Anderson and then a couple of young guys, 2 wingers in Mathis de Tourbe and Jeremy Monja from Leicester, and then another goalkeeper from Sheffield Wednesday, who we immediately sent out on loan. So, City stuff, bringing in some young guys, maybe to hopefully turn a profit eventually, but Elliot Anderson I am excited about. So we will see what happens. Rodri still may not be leaving. Fingers crossed. Because I don't know who we'd replace him with. And right now we're linked with Pedro Neto, which I am not excited about. And also, oh gosh, who was the other guy we were linked with? We were linked with another guy that really didn't excite me. I've forgotten now. I don't think it'll happen. Oh yeah, Enzo Fernandez. Not excited about that. Like, he's a good player, but he's not a good replacement to Rodri, because that's why we would buy him. So I don't know how I feel about our transfers, but we have a good coach and we still have a good team. So I'm excited to see what happens.
So I don't know if we've all seen these memes, but I'm not going to waste my time looking it up. But I feel like there's the meme that's like, I feel like all celebrity news nowadays is like, did you hear that Snarkleblot and Jiminy Green Eggs broke up? And like stuff like that. And I feel like that's what all soccer news is to me nowadays.
I agree with that.
I was keeping track like 12 years ago, and then I stopped. So it's like that, but like the names are like, cooler or whatever. But anytime I hear a name, like, so I'm in the Man U fan club or whatever now, so I get emails and stuff, and they're like, Yuri Tielemans has joined, and I'm like, cool. Who is that? So I've gotten emails about Yuri Tielemans and Andre, I don't know, Santos. So they must be exciting. And then obviously I'm excited, like Michael Carrick. Those are the 3 people I know to be excited about.
There's one more.
I mean, Harry
Your
Maguire's
favorite
still
United
there, baby.
player.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not gone and he'll never leave. He's eternal. Just like Marcus Rashford. So they're 2 buddies that will,
Against his will.
yeah, that they were born at United and they will die at United, and may they rest in peace. So I honestly don't really know. I don't have a great answer for the question. But those are the bits of news that I know of, so they must be exciting.
I will
Yeah.
say, as a City fan, those are exciting midfield signings. Tielemans and Santos are great. I think they work together well in that midfield with Kabi Mainu, and replacing Casemiro is not an easy thing to do. So I think you guys do, that does look exciting in its own way.
Oh yeah, we got rid of him. So that's sad.
Not really. He
Yeah,
kind of needed to go.
he's a name I know of.
That's how you know he needed to go.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm up. What has changed? I think it might be easier to list off the things that haven't changed for us. I mean, like legitimately everything has changed. It's still changing. The transfer windows. We got a couple more weeks left. We have a new manager. We basically sold our entire midfield. Tonali's gone. Bruno's gone. Anthony Gordon is gone. Yeah, and Eddie Howe is gone. So everything has changed. We got substantially younger, which is a really exciting part of it. So we can maybe talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. We still have Jacob Murphy, which everyone, that's like the funny thing you keep seeing. I've even seen some memes online that we sold our seahorses from our logo, which is like the funniest thing I've ever heard. So yeah, I'll pass it off to Jacob, but yeah, everything has changed.
Well, some things that I didn't think would change have already sort of changed. Like, for one thing, we're spending money unlike I've ever seen since I've been a fan of the club. Like, when I really started paying attention when Jose Mourinho arrived, I can remember him asking the board, I need Ruben Diaz and Bruno Fernandes. And they're like, cool, we'll get you Joe Rodon and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And that was just the mentality of the club. That's how they ran things. Even in this past season, when we were limping into the January window and we needed reinforcements badly, we got Conor Gallagher and a developmental youth left back. And they really should have been punished for that decision. But again, De Zerbi happened, we stayed up, and now that we're here, we're actually spending money, which we need to probably spend a little bit more. We've been selling a lot, including today. Thank you so much for your service. But we do need to retool the attack. We probably need to get one or two more role pieces for the defense. But it's going to be tough to fill those spaces with just the fact that we don't have European football. So the fact that we're spending money, the fact that De Zerbi has rebuilt the morale of the club, players are buying in who were just completely out when Frank was in charge, and getting healthy again, which is crazy to say that we're not even all that much healthier right now because Kudus is still out, Kulu is still out, Xavi is going to be out for a while, Solanke has nagging issues. So we even need to get healthier than we are right now. So this is just getting us back to a baseline where we can compete again. We told Manor Solomon, one of our wingers, hey, we're selling you this summer, so you better find a club. And then a week later, we were like, you feel like getting on a plane with us and flying off to Australia so you can fill out our club numbers? That's just the state of things right now. So there's a lot of time left, but there's a lot of moves that need to be done in that time.
Yeah. Yeah, the window started out really strong and has slowed down a lot over the past, I would say, 4 weeks. The first 2 weeks were huge, and it's just kind of been stalling since then, overall. Now, what going into this season do you think is your biggest strength?
Accidentally answered that with my previous question a little bit, so I'll just rehash the defense, our overall defense, between our strong defensive capabilities in the midfield back to our back four and David Raya. I would not trade them for anything on the planet right now. Yeah, I think they pick up right where they left off last year.
So I'm torn. I have two options. One of them is a 6'4" Norwegian, and the other is that Josko Gvardiol and Ruben Diaz are both back. And we officially have I would say, the second best defense in the league with Diaz, Gvardiol, Kushinov, whoever we're going to put out wide, Aitnuri, Nunez, Rico Lewis, Nico O'Reilly. Like, we have such an exciting back line, depending on how Maresca uses it, because I know that he's probably not going to do the tooling that Pep does, because nobody is Pep. So I'm going with the Norwegian. Erling Haaland scored crazy goals in a fairly weak Norway side at the World Cup and proved he can do it. And I think that the way that Pep played actually made him worse. So I'm excited to see how a manager who can use a hold-up play guy is gonna use Haaland.
I've got two answers. One is we've got the best defense in the Premier League, and his name is Harry Maguire. So good luck, everyone else. The second, again, I've got fairly limited knowledge, but I know about Bruno Fernandes. I know that he goes left and he goes right, is what the chants say. So he's got to be good or something. But yeah,
Yep.
again, if I'd had like a different past month of my life, I would be killing this episode. But instead, I have what I learned a month ago and have held on to. But I've been humming the Bruno chant a lot today, preparing for this episode. So yeah,
That's good. Newcastle, what's our strength? I mean, like legitimately, there's two answers here, and I think they're both good. I already kind of hinted at it. But we have no European football in the state that we're in. We cannot afford to play on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and like, yeah, we're not cut out for that this season. I also think that the way that things have gone over the past like 6 weeks, or even the last 12 months, was starting with like the Isak thing. It's like expectations are next to nothing. So we don't have to manage those expectations. Like last year, it was like Champions Club, like Anthony Gordon, or Champions League. Anthony Gordon, Bruno, Tonali, all those guys, Harvey Barnes playing well, the Voltamata signing. Like it was like we should be in the Champions League again for the third time in 4 years. And we went from being in sixth in February to 12th. And so now everything's, like I said, everything has changed. I think both no European football and expectations being non-existent are both huge strengths for this team to at least stay above relegation. So that's the goal.
Yeah, the timing of the episode is really interesting with how much of the window is left and how much money teams have left to spend in players they want to get rid of potentially. So Newcastle is one of the teams I'm more interested in to see what they do with the squad space and the money they freed up. But for Tottenham, biggest strength, we spent 200 million on it. So I'd hope the midfield would be the strength by this point. But I'm not just saying that because of the new signings. I really like Fernandes. I really like Tonali. And I think both of them might just jump right into the starting lineup depending on how De Zerbi wants to use them. But I also think it's the position we have the most solid options. Like when they're fully healthy, Maddison and Xavi, they can both be really good for us. Conor Gallagher, he's kind of got mixed opinions in the Tottenham fan base, but I really like his energy. I really like the runs he makes to support the attack and how he presses. And Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, I just think we have the most good options there. And we probably need to sell a few of the pieces, but I trust De Zerbi to sort out that position and put the best people in the best positions and send out whoever are surplus to what we need, which is probably going to be a little more than I'm comfortable with because we don't have Europe, but hopefully he gets us right back to that contention. So the midfield at this point is the position group I feel strongest about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what is your biggest weakness going into this season?
I think if for no other reason than because of just how world class our defense is. Our attack currently is still our biggest weakness. Gyökeres was a really nice boost, but so far he hasn't really provided that tip of the spear that we really need for the attack. We've already sold Trossard. If Martinelli ends up going as well to fund a move for somebody else later in the year, then we really need to find somebody soon to bolster that left wing, or we risk our attack really stalling out, especially as the league continues to build better defenses to counter that high flying pet ball that became so popular over the past 10 years since he came over and took over Man City. Those 72 hours where we really thought we were going to get Vinicius were a lot of fun. I just worry that, and I really legitimately think there was a chance there for a brief window, for a very short window. I think the chance was legitimate, but I also think, personally, I fully believed that Real Madrid was going to come along and capitulate to what Vinny was wanting. So I knew that, it really wasn't likely, but there was a chance. At the risk of sounding like the meme, you're telling me there was a chance. I believe that was legitimate as well. So I worry that we maybe spent a little bit too much time focusing on Vinicius when we could have been going to get a Bradley Barcola before Liverpool came along. So we'll just have to see. I mean, the Julian Alvarez situation with Atletico is a mess.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on there. I'd like to have him. I'd really like to have him, but it's all up in the air right now. So yeah, our attack is, I think, the weakest point of our team right now.
Surprisingly, since we picked up Elliot Anderson, and he is a very mobile midfielder, I still think we're going to miss the third lung of Bernardo Silva, because that man could run the entire 90 minutes and then some, and he would play in every position Pep wanted him in. He played as a right back, literally played as a right back at times, played as a CDM, a center mid, an attacking mid, a winger. He was Mr. Reliable for us for his tenure at the club. And so we're really going to miss him. And like I mentioned earlier, if we do end up losing Rodri to either Barcelona or Real Madrid, which Barcelona is the more favored destination right now, is what my understanding is. But if we lose him, I am nervous about our midfield. Although, I don't want to downplay Nico Gonzalez that much. At times last season when he filled in for Rodri, he did great. And it almost didn't even look like Rodri was gone at times. But again, new manager, new system. So we'll see how that goes. I think our midfield is our biggest weakness. Haaland is going to be Haaland. Semenyo ended the season fantastically. Doku ended the season fantastically. Yeah, no, that's exciting. Our defense is all back from injury. I'm worried about our midfield depth.
I feel like I'm only hyped, I've not been broken yet, right? Give it time. I understand who my team is and where we are, that this is the year. But yeah, I do think that as someone that is new, trying to understand all the Rashford stuff is weird. I'm looking at the team's roster on manunited.com, and he doesn't have a number, and he's never had a number the whole time I've been a fan, which is 2 months now. And so I don't understand the drama. I know there's drama, and that can't be good. That can't be helpful for the team and navigating all of that. So I think that I'm not saying he's a liability necessarily, but I think that all that mess, maybe there'll be trouble with the forwards. And I also have not heard of any of these guys. So that's not on them. They're world-class soccer players. But yeah, so we'll say forwards with my lack of knowledge. And this is, I want to acknowledge, this is a nightmare for me. This is a reason that I'm never a fan of anything, is so that I don't have to talk with people that know more than I do about something that I claim. And so this whole thing is a nightmare for me. Let me know in the comments if I'm an idiot, please, because that'll make it better. So thanks.
No, I think that's a fair assessment for United, the forward department. I do think that's a fair assessment for the weaknesses and the drama for sure.
Yeah, for us, our biggest weakness, we sold the spine of our team. I mean, I still don't have a striker. 12 months after he is gone, I mean, our midfield is not. We're not saying the midfield is thin. We have 9 days to buy a midfield, other than a 20-year-old from Monaco and a teenager from Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a. I mean, Lewis Miley, incredible with Bruno there, with Tonali there, like. And he's only, I don't know how old he is now, but I think he's at 20 or 21. But he's like our experience in the midfield. So we also lost, obviously lost our manager. So we lost the whole spine of our team, and we lost our manager all in one off season basically. And so while it's going to be a strength that we're young and we have a new manager and all of that, it's also a huge weakness. And hopefully by the end of October, I will know what the guys' names that we've signed are, because I have certainly not watched any of them play, or most of them that we've signed in this window. So.
Well, I think the attack for Spurs definitely is the position that needs the most sorting out right now, because we've gotten bodies in for the defense. So the bulk of that unit is solid. Pedro Porro just had a great World Cup run with Spain, and I highly rate Van de Ven. A lot of teams were trying to come after him until we got a new contract for him. But the attack right now is really a mess. Like, you've got Solanke, who's just picked up another injury. I don't know what his timetable's going to be, because his timetable was always longer than we thought it would be last season. And his backup is Richarlison, who also has a spotty injury history. He was reliable last year, but I've been a fan for longer than last year, so I know he's got some injury spells in him. And the reports are also that he's day to day, whether he's bought into the club or wanting to make a move. Kudus is still coming back from injury. Kulu is still coming back from injury. So we were really relying on Mikey Moore and Matisse Tell to fill out the front line for us on our summer tour. And the fans are really starting to get anxious about who we're going to fill that position with, because we've been courting Savinho for a while. No, we've not been courting Savinho. Savinho has been actively simping for Spurs. He's pretty much liked every post that we've been putting out. He's following players. And from all I've heard, City are just not really that bothered about making a decision to move him on. We're trying to get Marmouche at times, Mikotadze from Villarreal, if I said his name right. We've been linked with him. Balogun in the last couple days. Victor Osimhen. We're just throwing out whatever names we can, because the front line, even when it's fully healthy, like, it's not performed. I've not rated Kudus from last year when he was healthy as much as other Spurs fans even. And he's probably the most robust attacking player we have in that group right now. So it really needs addressing badly before this season starts, because even if we get fully healthy, I still think the position group is deficient as a whole.
Richarlison is just hilarious because he's either injured, or he's not bought into the club, or he's scoring from 50 yards out. It's one of those three options, and that's it.
Yep, that's true. I didn't include anything in here about this, and I kind of regret that now, so I am putting us all on the spot. But one realistic transfer that you want to see before the window's up. And I say realistic because if I said dream, we would all probably be like Mbappe, or like, something crazy like that. But dream, like a realistic transfer that you want to see go over the line by the end of the window.
I don't know if it's by the end of the window, but I think Julian Alvarez can be realistic. I know he wants to go to Barcelona, but Atletico are not going to let him go
for less than like 300 million.
Well, they're also not going to let him go to any in league rival. Is what they've also made clear. So I feel like, there's been talk going around of like a swap deal with Gyökeres and and Alvarez, so that could be crazy. I feel like, I mean, with how Kai Havertz has stepped up, I think, to be our second striker after Gyökeres, I think that's more a realistic move than it might have been at the beginning of last season. So we'll just have to see. But I think Alvarez can be realistic. It's just, okay, what are we willing to do to go get some more world-class talent, especially on that left wing, and what are we willing to give up in order to get it?
And there's actually like a surprising lack of world-class talent on the left out there right now because Real Madrid keeps buying all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. I would say just because it's one that we're linked with, we have plenty of wingers. We don't really need another striker. Our defense is packed. We've got good. We're linked with Alexis McAllister right now. And I think that would be a really fun move, actually. He's not as defensively minded as I would like, but the way that he plays in midfield, I do think would actually bolster this squad quite a bit. Like, I think him and Elliot Anderson together can make up for some of that Bernardo Silva that we're missing, is what I kind of feel like. And I like him a lot more than Enzo Fernandez. Ironically, both Argentinians. But yeah, I'd say that's a realistic move that we've got. Other than Pedri, I mean, I would take Pedri. Yeah.
I have quickly Googled Man U transfer rumors. There's a young man named Lewis Hall.
No.
The vultures are still circling,
Please,
apparently.
God, no.
But someone else named Miles Lewis Skelly has been offered or something like that. So we'll take them both.
I'd be sad to see MLS go, but like, I don't know.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
It sounded like the report I saw. It sounded like he wants to go to United specifically.
I think I saw a similar report along those lines. So I mean, if we're gonna send him somewhere, I mean, we might as well send him somewhere he wants to go because he's been good for us. He's developed nicely with us. He might not be to the level we need him to be just yet at the moment, but I mean, I'd love to see him go somewhere and do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
We need to do something on the back line. Sven Botman was atrocious today against Everton. I mean, really, really, really bad, and he has been for a while. I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Amar Dedic.
Mm-hmm.
Is a guy that they've been throwing around. I think that would be a huge signing in the next 10 days that we have. And we probably need 3 more. So just give me some more bodies. So
real quick, I need Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
I would love Adam Wharton in this team too, by the way. Young English midfielder. That's what we need. Anyways, Jacob?
Yeah, I listed out most of the names. I feel like the easiest would be Savinho, just because, from what I understand, personal terms are either already agreed or are a non-issue from the negotiations that have taken place up to this point. I don't know fully if it's City not wanting to move forward with it, or if Spurs are just not willing to slap the amount on the table that City would say he's yours if you just give us this. Maybe there's a little bit of both going on there, but I don't know. Matisse Tell has been our guy on the left so far, and he's had a good preseason, but we really need to strengthen the front line, and I think Savinho would be the easiest. If we reach a little further, I really like Mikotadze as like a new striker option for us.
See, but the thing, Savinho's a right winger though. Like, he does not perform well on left. And so, like, you'd just be adding another right winger to your team.
I've heard him mostly, mostly put on the left for us, but I could be wrong about that.
He doesn't do well for us anywhere. So, you know what? For 50 million, I'll let you have him. Okay, so who is a player that needs to perform for you this season?
I kind of cheated a little bit, and I'm going for two. The two I picked are Gyökeres and Gimaresh. I think, like I said, Victor bolstered us, but he didn't quite put up the numbers that we know he's capable of scoring in his past seasons. I feel like he needs a big second campaign to fully prove that he's worth all the money that we spent on him and that we shouldn't look to move on from him already. But I think Bruno, I think some of the I wrote this before the friendly against Como today, and I wasn't able to watch the game, but the reports that I'm seeing come out of it seem to say that Bruno's already looking pretty strong and he's looking comfortable in the squad. But I think Bruno is a question mark, but he's not the biggest question mark on the team. He just needs to prove that he can work in Arteta's system and then boost the midfield in a new way, both alongside Rice and also as a replacement for him, depending on the matchup.
I would say this is more of a personal stance than it is in terms of like the team doing well. Like, obviously Haaland needs to perform. Like, we have Omar Marmoush who can play as a striker if Haaland isn't performing, but Haaland needs to perform. But I think that's kind of obvious. And also, he's kind of proven that he will. He's just going to be Haaland doing Haaland things, you know? So I'm saying Phil Foden. I think Phil Foden needs to perform this season. Like, he has glimmers of beauty every once in a while where he's unplayable, but never for longer than just a few games stretch. And he's like 26 now, so we can't keep using the inexperience thing. He's been part of a team that has won so many more trophies in his short life than some teams have had in their entire 100-year existence. So this man, who is now a grown man, needs to play like a grown man. So, yeah, I say that. He would kill me in anything soccer-wise. He would kill me in any sport, probably. I would safely say that. I might be able to tackle, like football tackle, better than him. But that's a maybe. Hey, Lola.
She meowed.
This
She
is
did
anything
meow.
but the cats.
Oh, yeah, we're
Okay.
breaking a rule here.
Yeah, I know. She's not one of those, though.
So I'm kind of cheating, but since we're all doing two answers, I've got three. So my first one, it's two. It's Jack and Tyler Fletcher, because they're brothers and that's cute. And like, it'd be so sad to send one of them off to pasture. So I hope they do well together. And then the other, he's just getting to that age where if you don't perform as well, you might get sent off to that big soccer field upstate where you can run and play.
Major League Soccer?
Harry Maguire. Yeah. He's getting old, and statistically speaking, he doesn't have his worst years behind him, because one day he'll be really old. But he's getting old, and I would love to see him do well. I don't know how it'll impact the team. It'd be good if he did well, but yeah, but before too long, the MLS will be calling his name. But that's all right. That's nature. That's how it goes.
I've got a whole list of them. I think the Joe Linton, he has to be the like backbone of our team. Everybody hates him, but he's the only one left. Like, we were listing off all the things that hasn't changed. That's the one. He's going to be like a staple. You know, whoever decides to line up top, like, we're going to need goals from someone. I don't know who that's going to be. You know, obviously we signed our biggest signing in the window was Torre. I think he's like 40 plus million or something, and he was supposed to be the Anthony Gordon replacement. But my actual final answer is Jesla, like the manager. Like, he's got he's 38. He's never been in a top 5 league. He's literally had like 2 weeks to prepare for the season. So he's going to have to coach his butt off, you know what I mean? To just like figure out what he has, you know, like if we don't sign anybody else, which I do think we'll make a couple more signings before this window's up, but he's going to have to figure it out. And I do think that he is the one that has to perform the most. I like what I've seen so far out of his style, out of what he runs, but like, These are the big boys now, not the leagues that he's coached in so far.
Yeah, a couple answers for me as well, just quick hitters. This isn't so much a player who I think has underperformed. This is a player who's performed really well. Kinski, our goalkeeper, we're trying to offload Vicario, and Kinski has looked very good to end last season and in the preseason with us so far, much more suited to the passing and using the keeper in the build-up style that De Zerbi wants to do. But I feel like either to start the year, because we've been starting kind of slow on offense, or at some point in the doldrums of January, February, he's going to have some big games for us to either get out of a slump or to keep ourselves from falling into a slump in the first place. And Kudus as well, just because there's so much shifting in the attack. He's going to be one of the few consistent pieces, and I feel like he has so much talent that's not been tapped into yet. I want De Zerbi to be the one to tap into it, but I think Kudus has a lot to prove going into this season, of course, once he gets healthy. But De Zerbi as well. I think he has to perform with this group. He's been given some of the pieces that he really wants, and we have some time left in the window before August is over. So depending on what he gets, depending on how supported he feels, he needs to step up either way and make the most out of what he has and take a season that could easily become like a lost season to the stepping stone for us getting back to where we think we need to be in the top 4, top 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and that kind of leads into the next question, actually. What, for you, is a realistic ceiling for your team this season?
I truly believe that we can win the league again, but it's going to take a wholly new mentality than what we've gotten used to over the past 20 plus years. It's going to be a hard mental rut to break. And I think Arteta has his work cut out for him. But I also believe it's possible just because of how much of the squad that we have coming back. We might not be able to win it in the same way that we did it last year. I think that's pretty much a given that we'll have to change things up. But I truly believe we can win it again.
Yeah, I think one of the things about Pep, and the reason that I think he was that the City team was as dominant as they were, is he really kind of retooled the team every year. Even if he had returning players, he retooled how he did things, and it worked. And so we are going to have to see how Arteta responds as a manager, because it's different having already won. It's different defending than it is trying to get there. So yeah, I'm interested to see how you guys do this season.
Yeah.
And as well, I think our realistic ceiling is the champion. It's Manchester City. We have a star-studded squad. We have our backroom staff. They know what they're doing. We've been here before. Most of our players have been here before. It's just going to be a matter of getting this new system down. But the thing is every player that's already been here is used to changing the system every year. So I think it is realistic for us to fight better than we did last season. So
I don't think it's ridiculous to think that the team that finished third could finish first, potentially. Here's hoping. Yeah, I don't know. I am but a boy when it comes to my fanhood. So I have the optimism of youth and nothing but hopes and dreams. I'm not jaded yet. So let's run this podcast back next season and see what I think then. But for now, we can do anything.
Well, I am jaded, and I am historically a Washington D.C. sports fan. I have one. Other than the 2018 Stanley Cup, I have historically misery for all of my teams. And that's actually why I became a Newcastle fan to begin with. It wasn't a top 6 club. I knew what I was kind of getting into. There was some money coming in from their Saudi backings. I thought there would be a little bit better things on the horizon. And yes, we lifted a trophy for the first time in a very, very long time recently. But realistic ceiling for this team, middle. I mean, it's middle of the table, 9th, 10th, maybe by the end of the year we have an identity again. Because Hal gave us that identity, and that's gone. So it's like we have a really, really tough start to the year. So it's hopefully like let's not panic. But it does soften a little bit. Like we're not hoping. There's no silverware in our future this year. So yeah, middle of the table, 9th, 10th, somewhere in there. That's the best we can hope for.
After how despondent I was in the end of the season recap we did, I'm kind of surprised of going back to saying like 4th is our ceiling, and not even just pie in the sky, but somewhat realistic, because we're not 17th in the table in terms of talent or Premier League experience. We have been vastly underperforming our capabilities. So even just from that perspective, you could say we break back into the top 7 or so places. But with new signings and a manager that plays exciting football and is getting players excited to play that football, I really feel like if everything hits, we jump back in the 4th place. Obviously, City, Arsenal are going to be 1, 2 in some order. And I've already said Liverpool, I think they're going to be good this year. But other than that, I think we would have a shot to get 4th place. And I think we're probably going to be in that mixer come March.
What is your nightmare scenario this season?
We get too far into our own heads, and it becomes a season-long mirror of the games we lost last season, where we were playing not to lose rather than actually trying to win. We can also have issues with our transfers that we bring in, or whatever new system that Arteta tries to implement. I think it feels weird, and not weird. It feels elitist to say this as a nightmare scenario, but I genuinely believe there's possibilities that we could be fighting to stay in Europe rather than fighting to defend the championship.
Yeah, I mean, like it can get to your head. I can see that. So back when I was in high school, freshman in high school, all my friends and I were playing this game called Call of Duty Black Ops. And one of the zombie maps that there was called Kino der Toten. And if you did a specific Easter egg, then a song by Elena Seigman would play. It was one of the first like screaming metal songs that I really enjoyed. And it is called 115 off of Element 115, which was used to raise the zombies or whatever, and may also be used to put us under. So if they actually do anything with that,
Yeah,
which you never know, that could put a pretty big damper on our not just season but also foreseeable future. So yeah, that we've got a new manager. A lot of our champion mindset players have left. I'm not going to be upset necessarily if we're just top 4 or top 5 even. Like if we're in Europe, I'm going to be happy with this season. So like getting 3rd wouldn't be a nightmare, but that would.
I will say Man City getting relegated is a key part of my plans for Man U to make it to the top. So if they could do that, that'd be great. Anyways, no, I feel like nightmare scenario. So it's like if Harry Maguire is playing and then he realizes like he forgot to wear pants that day. Like, and it's like his big class presentation. No, like I assume that some injuries would be bad. I don't like my dog in the fight isn't much, you know. So there's nothing that I would agonize over, but it would be a bummer if people got injured. I wouldn't like that. I'm fine if they lose some soccer, but I'd rather people not get hurt. So maybe I sound like a weenie, but
No, you brought up something that I think is actually more of a nightmare scenario. A bad Holland injury.
oh yeah, dude's begging for it. Look at him.
Like
Yeah,
He's shaped like
he was
injury.
kind of known for those in Dortmund, wasn't he?
Kind of. He's still played the overwhelming majority of the games there. The reason, like, he would go off sometimes for like a knock, but he'd be back within a game. So it was never anything long term. It's just the way that he plays is so physical and he's so big. Like I worry sometimes that he might get injured. That is a nightmare scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I specifically am worried about my buddy Harry Maguire because of that big soccer field upstate.
Across the pond.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could for us? What could be worse than opening the season against Liverpool at St. James Park? Isak makes his return and scores like 4 goals, and then we go immediately away to Tottenham and Tonali just man of the match game. We lose both like 6-0, and it comes September 1st. Now we're 2 games in, and we haven't signed anyone, and we're locked into the team that we have until January. Now Yisa is getting asked about how long he's going to be around as the coach in October. Like that is worst case nightmare scenario to the start of this season. So, but yeah, get Liverpool coming to St. James and Isak scores like even a brace, but like if he puts like 4 goals in, that would be the worst thing ever. And if Sven Botman's out there, it's probably going to happen.
Well, if these last 2 seasons have taught me anything, it could always get a little bit worse than you think it could going into the year. So I don't know. I've gone on record on this show saying that the Tottenham board and Roberto De Zerbi are 2 volatile elements that I did not think would mix well at all. And despite our intentionality in buying early in this window, I could still see a scenario where De Zerbi feels disrespected and the board says deal with it. And then the classic meltdown happens and the club gets really toxic. And even if we've made good moves, we just kind of limp to the end of the year in like 14th, with De Zerbi being fired probably sometime after the January window and bridges have been burned. So I really think that clash of personalities and more injuries, I think that could really drop us back down close to where we were to end last season. Maybe not quite as low, because I think the talent's going to be better and the fewer fixtures are going to help us. But it could still get really toxic and we could end up better on a table finish position than last year, but not meaningfully better in rebuilding to where we want to be.
Yeah. Okay, so what position, like what's your genuine prediction for where you will end the season?
It breaks my heart because I'd love to see us win again, but genuine prediction is probably second or third. I see too many avenues for us to seed our own way out of the top spot, and too many teams who kept up last season are just as hungry, if not more so, to take their next shot at winning it in the top spot. We still have a little bit of time before the window closes, and then obviously we have, the winter window as well. So we'll just have to see if Arteta and Berta have made the moves that we need to make this year in order to maintain our spot at the very top.
Yeah. I said top 2 is my genuine prediction for City. It's either top 2 and a push for the title, or we're top of the championship, baby. like we're getting relegated and we're winning that thing our first season down there. Like,
honestly, I would love to see a reality where you guys do get relegated, but like everybody stays with the club.
We're shooting for the highest. We're not going for an invincible season. We're going for a 100% win rate. That's what we're doing.
The all or nothing crew follows you, but they just call it all.
Yes. Yes. Oh man.
Yeah, no, I say top 2, pushing for the title. That's what I think. Top 3, I could be argued, because I think Liverpool also looks really strong. And I think it'll be more of a 3-horse race this year than it has been the past couple. Maybe even 4.
This is based on vibes alone. 4th place is my prediction.
Just straight to the point. I like that.
Exactly 4th. Yeah.
Oh man, I have so many things going through my head. I think if I had to bet on how the Newcastle season goes, I think I can at least pick that like Hull City, Coventry, Ipswich are like definitely worse than us still. But if I had to, like, I don't think we're in like relegation. I think we're clear of it. But I do think it's going to look grim to start the year. And I think we'll be like below 13th by Christmas time. And then after that, I think we develop some identity. The other teams start getting a little bit more fatigued. There's seasons going on. Yeah. So I think somewhere around, like I said, 12th again. Is that a thing? Like, I think 12th again maybe might be good.
Okay.
But I think we stay up. At least I'm praying that we stay up.
I'm pretty sure Spurs are going to land somewhere like 5-6. I think we go back to the Europa League. Run it back, boys. Let's go. And the thinner list of fixtures helps us out a lot. A lot of it depends on what kind of attacking signings we make to end this window and the balance that we have up front, because I feel like we could roll with the midfield and then with the defense, maybe with one more signing on the defense now that Spence is gone. But if we make the right attacking signings, I feel like we go right back up to 5th, 6th, and then De Zerbi has a really strong building block and tangible success with Spurs that he can sell to recruit more players and rebuild the squad, because we're going to get trimmed down for no Europe this summer. We'll need to build back up to compete on the top level again.
All right. So let's go ahead and close out with some general league predictions. We'll go top 4 first.
I guess I'll just say in no particular order. I'm going to say Arsenal, Man City, Man U, and Liverpool.
I have City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I have high hopes for Chelsea. So
Frauds.
I've got high hopes.
Again, my plans do hinge on Man City getting relegated. But if they're relegated, I don't know 3 other teams, right? So I'm going to say exactly what Gabe said based on my limited knowledge, which is only from these podcast episodes. Mostly.
Yeah, I don't know about any particular order. Arsenal, City, Villa, and that 4th one. Let's go Tottenham. But I like it. I'd like to. Yeah, just for the sake of the pod, you know.
Yeah, let's go.
North
Yeah.
London, baby.
And then just because somebody has to put their name by the exact prediction so they can be made fun of in retrospect, go ahead and get the clip ready, Gage. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't say this. That was the order that I predicted, was City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. That was my actual order. So, okay, interesting. Who do we think's getting relegated? Do we think it's just going to be an up and down situation?
I'm going with Coventry City, Hull City, and Palace.
Ooh, okay. I went with Coventry City, Hull City, and Nottingham Forest.
I thought somebody's
Honestly,
going to throw out
that like
Newcastle on me.
that like handful down there at the bottom last season were just it really feels like you can kind of swap them out.
Yeah.
Coventry City, Hull City, Man City.
He's dedicated to the bit.
Yeah. Boy can dream.
Hull City, Ipswich. I think the Palace pick is sneaky. I really here's a spicy take. I think Bournemouth lost so much that like if you ever look at the team that finishes sixth and has to play in Europe and then basically just sells everybody, like they tank the next year. I mean, usually they're like 14th or something, but like I think Bournemouth might be fighting for their lives all season long. So.
Throw Fulham in that category too. Like not of like burgeoning into Europe, but like changing manager. Feels like they're kind of treading water. I don't think they're going down, but
they've got a former Real Madrid manager, a former Real Madrid striker, a former Real Madrid left back. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think
they lost Harry Wilson though.
I think Ipswich, Hull, and yeah, I kind of like the Forest pick, especially if Gibbs White leaves. Again, I just don't think they're doing enough. But Palace, I'd be tempted to put Palace. I don't know if they would drop the same season that they're in a Europe competition, but I could see an outside scenario where it happens. But my gut just says Ipswich, Hull, Forest.
I actually have a soft spot for Ipswich, so that hurts me a little bit. Now these are really, I think one of them is almost a shoe-in. Golden Boot.
Holland. I think he's too hot coming off of a strong World Cup. I think that hot streak continues.
Ditto.
Bruno Fernandes, baby.
Hey.
Oh. Igor Thiago?
Hey, let's go.
Okay.
I mean, he scored 22 goals last year.
Yeah, no, he did great last season and then showed that he does not fit the Brazil national team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the one that came to mind most is probably would sting. Just like Isak, if he stays healthy and he plays a full season for Liverpool. He would, there's no Salah anymore, so no Momo. So yeah.
Yep. Holland.
Wow.
Golden Ball, so most assists.
I'm gonna go with. If we're going for most assists specifically, I think I'm gonna say Guimaraes.
Okay.
I think he gets right up in there. I think Declan Rice is able to play a little bit further back, and Guimaraes is the one who is able to push forward.
Interesting. I'm saying if he takes off like he did last season, Ryan Cherokee. Like if he continues to move like he did, that's who Ryan Cherokee.
Bruno Fernandes.
Because I think he had the second most assists after Bruno Fernandes. No, Bruno Fernandes somehow still had the most assists. I can't believe I'm forgetting him. I'm saying Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. Assuming they're the same guy, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's just Portuguese, and so it's like Fernandes, not Fernandez.
Dude.
Because the Portuguese... Yeah.
I'm not that loyal. I can't be bothered. Bruno Fernandes, baby.
I'm going to say if Tottenham has a season that I predicted that they would, Kudus or Madison.
Okay.
Oh, if Madison got that.
So the Zerbi's teams are going to generate a lot of opportunities. Sonali's going to play well in the midfield, and he's good at distributing. So I think somebody on Tottenham might put up a lot of goals this year.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say Cherokee just because the number he put up, I think got like 12 or something like that this past season. That's been like top 3 for the past several seasons. Like oftentimes the winner has only had like 13 or 14 assists. And with a full season of Semenyo and Holland being himself, I feel like he could be a shoo-in with that, especially with Maresca's system. So I think Cherokee's got it.
Okay. Golden Gloves.
David Raya. Run it back.
David Raya. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, David Raya.
I'm saying David Raya specifically because Harry Maguire is going to do such a good job on defense that our goalkeepers aren't going to have to do anything.
So Golden Gloves is most clean sheets.
Ah, cool. Good to know. Well, he's
Yours
not
is
that good.
Sam
He's humble.
Lemons.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've got the roster pulled up. Nah, yeah, he'll do good too. I believe in him.
Let's go against the grain and bring back something from the beginning of that we talked about. Pickford.
Oh, not a bad
Watch-
shout.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mostly because people are getting past their defense to get to him in order for him to have chances to make all those saves.
And I am Mr. With the Grain saying Raya.
I mean, this will be what, 4 in a row?
Much.
Pretty, yeah, basically. Because I think he tied with someone else his last season at Brentford.
Yep. He also tied. He
Um,
also tied with somebody this year as well, I think.
And yeah.
But for what it's worth, Verbruggen is my keeper in fantasy.
All right. Final question. And then if you guys have questions you want to throw out to the group, we can do that for just a second. First team to fire their manager.
I hate to say it, if it's not Newcastle, just with the opening stretch that you guys have, man. If it's not you guys, I think it's going to be Palace.
I'm feeling Everton.
That was actually my second choice.
I have already written a few chants for if Michael Carrick craps the bed, so I'll be ready for it.
Can you share?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't want to manifest it, you know.
No, okay, that's fair. Yeah. We'll post a video of DJ singing these chants if he craps the bed.
Yeah.
Carrick, not DJ.
Yeah.
Arbeloa on Fulham. I think.
Okay.
I mean, they let Jimenez and Harry Wilson go for like nothing, right? If they go 0 for 6 to start the year, who knows? I mean, I don't know. It could be Newcastle. I don't like that's part of my. Let's hopefully that that's not the case.
Yeah, just based on where things are right now, Everton and Newcastle are in the same stratosphere that my pick is in. I'm wondering if Leeds might sack Daniel Farke, just because they're in that spot of, it seems like they do want to stay in the league, but I could see if they struggle early on, they might think we've got to make a change. We've got to get somebody else to make the most of what we have and keep us up. So I feel like there could be one of the teams tempted to pull the trigger early and try to make a season-saving manager change.
I don't know what managers are available right now, is the thing. Xavi Hernandez, who used to be at Barcelona, is now managing the Netherlands. That's been made official. I think Pep is taking over England.
Really?
I think.
Heard that yet? That'd be big.
It's a rumor. It was either, I think it was England. It was looking like he might be taking over England, which would be crazy, by the way. Pep with that team, it would actually come home.
Yeah.
But we'll see. England love their conservative managers who aren't going to do anything crazy. So, anyways, do you guys have any final questions? Anything you want to lob out to the group? Hot takes? Anything? Great. I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been fun to go ahead and talk about it again. I look forward to seeing how the season goes. Perhaps we should have to do like a mid-season review or something along those lines so that we're not waiting until the end of the season to do something like this again. But it's been fun. Good luck to each of your teams. Godspeed. Hopefully injuries aren't as bad this year as they have been recently. Everybody who's watching or listening, if you're still here, leave your predictions of your own stuff in the comments below. Reach out to us if you want to argue with us about anything that we've said. We would love to, because all traction is good traction. I want to say a couple of thank yous outside of these guys. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. I want to say thank you to Adam Ward for our intro music and Jared Scrother for our outro music, and to Jacob Casey and Fox Royale for also doing music for us at different other times. Thank you to everyone who's been involved. If you want to get involved, you want to join us for an episode, give us an episode idea, or anything along those lines, just reach out to us at nocatspod@gmail.com or on our different social medias or in the comments below. Thank you to everybody and your mothers.
As always, if our thanks aren't sufficient, please go thank yourselves. See you next week.